the Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 2 picks against the spread, game by game. Hit the time codes if there's a game you want to jump to. Plus a Cust Corner mini, a redo of the Survivor picks because, Barry Horowitz style, Pat Mayo is your champion of Survivor. So, since it's week 2, we might as well start a new one. And the Super Locks of the week, plus Cust free money teaser. Reminder to all out there, smash the like button for the episode. Sub to Mayo Media Network. And down in the description, you got the newsletter link, which I highly recommend that you sub to because the newsletter that comes out on Tuesday evenings will have the link to this show a day earlier than the show actually comes out. You want to see the show early? You sub to the newsletter. Okay. Also, the PME DraftKings Listeners League is down there as well. It's already like 40% full. So you may as well get your spot right now. Geoff Fienberg, do you have any money left after the Colts tied?
Yeah, no, I had a pretty good week in the end. Look at my week 1 record, but the Colts tie lost me an eliminator. It pushed some teasers, and the other legs took care of themselves. And it was my first year venturing back into real eliminators also, and I lost. I'm so bad at them. I'm so bad. And I had the game I knew to stay away from was San Francisco. Tim was yelling at me to stay away from this one. I don't know. They outgained them by 230 yards. I don't know. But I think I had a solid week, really solid week ATS for me. I usually win like 6 games week 1 and put in a hole early. So I think I flirted with double digits, and that's almost like winning 15 if in my heart.
That's not bad. I mean, you finished above 500 for the week. You were 9-7 against the spread. I was 8-8 after Denver did not cover. The coin, who was on the shelf over there, Paul, I'm going to need you to get the coin, was 11-5 against the spread, picking up the rear, 7-9 out of eliminator. It is a Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
That's not my name. Yep, I sure was. I was dead wrong about San Francisco, but as wrong as I was about them, I was right about don't put your life in Matt Ryan's hands. He'll break your heart. And
so
he did.
So you guys are good at restarting Survivor with me as the victor of the year?
I mean, sure. Might as well. I mean, because this is such an easy week. You want this to be for Survivor purposes. I actually don't like the week 2 board much at all, I have to say. I find the week 2 board to be very uninspiring, but for Survivor, there's quite a few options.
You find it to be uninspiring. I mean, that's probably good news for your ATS record because you loved the week 1 board and you had the worst record.
Yeah, for whatever reason, I just don't like the week 2 board here at all.
I don't know where the coin is. It's up there somewhere. I'm sure the coin is hiding on us, Tim. You were in studio on Sunday night, Geoff? You saw him. Do you think Tim stole the coin?
That's a fair.
No, it's not a fair thing. I would never do that.
Accusation. He rivaled. He knows. I'm not sure. What was the coin's record?
11-5.
11-5. The coin's out to an early lead here. Maybe it's on that table.
Whoa. And the coin didn't read up on any of the roster changes or follow any preseason action either.
No, the coin was not busy touting no-name fullbacks for the Chargers in the preseason.
Who? Xander Schauffele with the touchdown? Fullback Chargers?
Yeah, or Mr. Carter, the wide receiver.
I mean, DeAndre Carter is like a known person. I saw Carter and he was out there, and Tim's like, oh, that's Kyle Carter or Tyler Carter. I was like, what? Who is that? And then we just I scoured the roster. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's DeAndre Carter, man.
Well, then CBS used the wrong photo for him when they scored a touchdown. So
they didn't use a touchdown for him when he scored a touchdown because they didn't have one.
No,
they used that was for the fullback.
They put a white guy, like a random white guy who I didn't even recognize. Even though I know who Horvath is. Right. I had no idea who the graphic was they put up, but yeah, it's DeAndre Carter from the Redskins. I think he went to Pro Bowls or something. He's supposed to be the kick returner, and he's forced into some of that. So I don't know. We got here fast. Tim. Oh yeah, because Tim brought up his Sunday night Horvath. I was wondering how we got on the Chargers before we actually got to the Chargers, because I
Well,
swear
it's
it
also the
wasn't
first
me,
game,
people.
so.
Well, yeah, but
Wasn't me though.
Yeah,
Wasn't me.
But we're not there yet. Did you tune in? Thanks to everyone who tuned into the Sunday night evening show. I'm just stalling while Paul goes to his car and get me that Fijian coin, so I have something to flip here for the coin.
Uh-oh.
But did you enjoy the Sunday night show, Geoff?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a good mood, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a new friend. I enjoyed Tim. It feels like, as you sort of described, like you're just going to choose your own adventure. Chris will be on this week. I'm sure it'll probably be a lot more
Serious
of football talk maybe than happened last week, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's going, you know what I realized about that show? I'm not here. I mean, I guess my first campaign effort for the 2022 Custies, or you call it, or 23, will be that show might in and of itself keep me from not winning Most Insane. Like, it's just another hour of Tim on air weekly saying insane things.
Like, I don't like this, Frosty, but watch me demolish it live on air.
I didn't demolish it. I ate about half of it.
Yeah, before we told you probably need to stop if you don't like it so much.
Yeah, like I did. It's not a Frosty, right? It was a sort of a milkshakey thing. It was okay in terms of that, but it wasn't a Frosty. Like it didn't deserve the name Frosty.
All right, well, let's get into the games. Hopefully he doesn't tease the Chargers up, Geoff, because on his five-leg 6-point teaser last week, he got 4 of the games wrong, so that's not great news. And one of them was the Thursday night game. And this week we got Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are favored by 4.5 at home. The over-under in this game, 54.5. That's a sky-high total for a Thursday night game. And sometimes it's a shootout. Sometimes it's just super odd of what happens. But the Chargers have beaten Mahomes 3 of the past 4 times, Geoff. I don't know if this is a J.C. Jackson, Keenan Allen type, like extra 1.5, or the Chargers. I mean, they could have lost on Sunday despite winning the entire game. There was no chance of that with the Chiefs. They blew the doors off the Cardinals. So is this just a reaction to like, hey, the Chiefs are the Chiefs? Of course they're going to stomp the Chargers. I like the Chargers plus 4.5.
It does seem like the line has moved pretty hard. You would have made the case. I'm not even sure, to be honest, Pat, what the advanced
I think it was
line
3.
here
Pretty
is.
sure it was 3.
I'm supposed to have this like be dominant attitude, but I'm such a passive dud, I guess, that I feel like this is just a house money spot for the Chargers. It's Arrowhead. It's prime time. It's the season opener for the best fans in football. Despite some of them still talking like they got triplets when only one baby's come out yet, the best fans in football. I remember when the Chiefs were a 3-5 win team, they had prime time. They were the best. So I like it'll be a huge test. J.C. Jackson would change everything, because there hasn't been an hour since that football game ended where I haven't thought what this defense can be when J.C. Jackson is taking care of 35% of it. When Derwin James, who can cover Renfro one-on-one in the slot, cover a tight end like Waller one-on-one anywhere, blitz the quarterback for a sack, tackle your running back for a loss, and when the game is on the line, Devontae Adams goes in motion. Boo! Who's following? Derwin James. Derek Carr didn't know what to do. Sack! So I can't imagine what might happen when J.C. Jackson gets back to this sucker. I'm picking the Chargers because I'm me, and it's just like for the brand, and it's Thursday night, and to be 2-0 would be a nut. And I crushed it last night, thanks to you, Pat, thanks to Pizzola. Even going to throw Ken Barkley in that. That first half Seattle was the nuts.
It was the best.
It was the nuts.
The best.
Before the fumbles. Like, they should have been up 10 at the half. The nuts. And I'm going to press it all on Thursday night. That being said, you got to be a moron to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to do it.
So, Tim, The coin is also taking the Chargers. I don't know if you're going to make it a Chargers clean sweep, but since the Dolphins won, didn't seem like you spent too much time on Dolphins Reddit. I saw you trolling Chargers Reddit.
Spent some time on Chargers Reddit where after a win, people's number one concern was when is that OC being fired? When is Lombardi going? Why isn't he gone already? It was the strangest reaction I had seen to a fan base getting a week 1 win was we need to let that OC go. I thought that was curious. But it led me to looking up some stats, and this the reason I think I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game. The Chiefs converted on first downs 31% of the time on Sunday. The Chargers converted on first down 8% of the time. There you have it. A team that converts. I mean, even the Chiefs were a little bit too frequent on first down, and maybe if the Chargers were a little bit too infrequent, that gap between two teams to me is so big. In a game with two pretty studded offenses that I feel obliged to take Kansas City in this spot.
I would just encourage maybe go. I don't disagree. And I've never been to Reddit. I swear on my children's life, I've never been to Chargers Reddit, let alone a Jets fan who probably spent time on 5 different teams' Reddits this
Patriots
week.
Reddit.
That's just an over-under.
Over-under 3.5 Reddits for team Reddits for Tim on Sunday. Because I'm guessing Jets, Dolphins, Patriots, Chargers at least. Bills, maybe?
Jets.
No, Bills is too positive.
No,
for
I
him
didn't
to
go
into.
near. I didn't go near Bills or Dolphins. And I don't need that.
Why did you go? What brought you to Chargers Reddit after the win in the first place?
Honestly, I was curious to see how they reacted to that win because I thought that other than Herbert, I wasn't too impressed with the game. I thought Eckler was underwhelming. I thought
the offense struggled. The offense stagnated almost.
If Carr had been a little more careful with the ball, I think the Raiders probably would have won. Like, it was weird, right? So, like, the Chargers won. I was just curious how they reacted to that game. And the reaction was fire Lombardi for the most. I mean there was obviously celebration too, but it was fire Lombardi. I was like, really, fire him after a win.
I mean, listen, if you got to,
that's where we are now.
If you got to experience the game with me, I was losing my mind. I mean, we're playing for 2nd and 7 with Justin Herbert. It was a goddamn joke. It was refreshing to see Lombardi in his. It would have been later in the week because they're playing Thursday. He actually had to meet the media yesterday, and it didn't show up on YouTube or Twitter, but the Chargers app had it. Okay. He admitted, like, he looked at it again. He's watched it again. Like, he was way too conservative. Most coaches would have just, like, talked their way into what they were doing was right, and they won the game, and there was all, like, purpose that worked. So that was encouraging to see. To your point of like 31% to 8%, I would probably go look at what the Chargers did on first down versus Kansas City last year. I think they know it's a bit of a different animal. 4th and Staley was sort of boring versus the Chiefs in good and in bad. But you're not wrong. It drove me nuts. So I guess the Reddit people who do that clearly noticed. Watching the game, I noticed, and it was driving me nuts. Even with Keenan Allen leaving, Keenan Allen's not going to play. I'm encouraged to hear that it might not be as long as I anticipated of an injury for Keenan. And people, the Chiefs were just phenomenal. And it's like everyone is back in. Despite me picking Arizona last year, every piece of content we did from the Mahomes trade through offseason previews was me showering them with praise. Not really surprised one bit. Felt really stupid as that injury report came out. We recorded this show so early last week. By the time there was an injury report, there were like 17 Cardinals on it. I definitely did a big gulp as it pertained to that selection.
Were you proud of Mike Williams' performance as soon as Keenan
not
went down?
Good,
Mike Williams really stepped
I'll
up,
bet
didn't
you
he?
right now, because we didn't make the bet last week.
Hey, look, he better play well this week.
Drinking,
he better play well this week.
Out of a shoe.
Yeah, you better be playing well this week because if he can't show up this week against the Chiefs secondary, then good luck.
So do you want to make the bet then finally?
Yeah, I'll drink a Pepsi out of a shoe.
So what, if he scores this week?
Let's say he either has to score or he has to have 100 yards receiving. Either or. Either or.
Oh my God!
I like that. I like that Tim just added to, like, you were willing to just say touchdown or nothing. He's giving you more. Secretly, I think that Tim wants to do a shoey with a Crystal Light Pepsi.
No, this is how confident I am that Mike Williams, the vaunted Mike Williams, who as soon as he went out was
Oh
shut down
shit! I
by
gotta
the
talk
world's
to you.
greatest Raider secondary.
No, this is your move. This is your move. You come on like Sunday, like you come on and you're like, people call Mike Williams Jerry Rice. No, you're the only guy who like calls Denzel Mims Jerry Rice or Elijah Moore Jerry Rice. Like no one else does that. So when Mike Williams has a bad game, despite me saying I think there's a big season in store for Mike Williams, you can't turn it around and say, I heard he was Jerry Rice. You're the only sick person that actually does things like that. And then you call other people out on it for your like craziness. No, wrong, Tim.
Tim, do you like the Chiefs secondary?
No, not really.
Oh, well, it just
Although they no longer have Sorensen.
So this bet is in though, right? This bet is in?
Yeah. Yeah, Tim is great.
Keenan Allen, look at his game logs versus the Chiefs in his career, Pat.
Yeah, but he's
like
not,
you
well,
are
well,
get ready.
This is a DNP. Maybe the whole thing was that he tried to take Keenan Allen out of the game, and all of a sudden Mike Williams was left to roam free. Now that you don't have that option, but Trent McDuffie, first round rookie corner for the Chiefs, just placed on injured reserve, so he's not playing for at least 8 weeks.
Let's have the whole
the
PME
Chiefs
universe anytime Mike Williams touchdowns Thursday night. Like let's all have a party because we're on. You're done, Tim.
Got
You're
no chance.
And what do I have to drink? What am I doing?
Well, what would be miserable? Do you have any Verner's ginger ale? I like to see you drink that out of his shoe.
I could take a can from my dad's.
I know you hate that stuff. Why don't you drink that out of his shoe? That would make me happy.
It's honestly like cat piss, but I've never had cat piss.
Great. Then there you have it.
There's nothing really else to say. The Chiefs are amazing. To bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Look,
Even if
I will
like
do it.
the
I'll do it
Chargers-
Sunday night live on the show. I'll bring that. If I lose, I'll bring what I need to bring with me for Sunday night.
Even if you like the Chargers, betting against Patrick Mahomes,
We know, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. We got you. You've said it 5 times now.
No, but like it's just a rule to live by. I don't know, but I'm gonna do it. I'll probably do it on the money line. I'm sick.
Sunday games. Before we get into it, I do have the winners of the $1,000 I'm giving away. So congratulations to $250 to each of these two, and I'll contact you on Twitter. We'll get it PayPal'd right to you. You'll be good to go at FF_Pulse_88. Either you're born in 88 or you're a big fan of the Big E, Eric Lindros. Our boy CDG, who was on the desk on Sunday, used to have a shirts off pic of Eric Lindros in his like childhood bedroom because he thought it was just weird. But he loved Eric Lindros, and that was a poster they sold, so he had it up on the wall. And
You know the poster.
Yeah, you know the poster. It's from like 94. At Pan Fried Beats on Twitter, also a winner of $250. The winner of the $500 straight cash, homie, at The Next Universe on Twitter. Thank you all for leaving those reviews, subbing to the show, turning on the auto downloads. It's already helped out in a big way. Share the show around, tell a friend. I do want to give a special shout out to Mr. Roper, who left the first comment on the video last week. He said, Pat, so glad you released the show early. His mom suddenly passed away 2 days before, and he was going through it hard. He said that the show brought some joy, so I'm glad we were able to do that for you. We're all thinking about you. Hope it's starting. I mean, it's 9 days out now, so I'm sure it's not really alleviated all that much, but hopefully you're getting better. Hopefully you have your chin up, and we're thinking about you. I just wanted to let you know that. Patriots at Steelers kicks off the Sunday slate of games. Pittsburgh, looks like Najee Harris is playing, so that's a thing. Mac Jones probably gonna play, but he has a bad back. He's got back spasms. He's a backiotomy. Apparently that's what happens.
That's concerning.
Apparently that's what happens when you lose to Tua. You have to fake a back injury, but here we are. The Steelers are underdogs at home by 1 point. They could not have played worse, yet still won on Sunday, Tim. Like, their offense is just absolute dog shit. It's unbelievable.
Yes, I continue to be shocked that the Steelers managed to win the football game despite the way they played. But, I mean, the Patriots look dead as doornails too. However, I refuse to overreact too much from week one. And I still think this Patriots team is not as nearly as bad as they looked. I think it's an overreaction. It's never a good look to lose to Tua, particularly when he did play all that particularly well, and you still lose by 2 touchdowns.
He had the fifth
I'm gonna
highest.
take
He had the fifth highest QBR of the day.
We also watched the game, and he was not particularly sharp, and he missed open receivers all over the place.
How come when Zach Wilson plays poorly, but he has a decent QBR, it's the first thing you
I
point
see.
to?
So let's not actually talk about Tua.
No,
hold on.
Let's
then just flip the subject into a subject you're more comfortable talking about.
Mute him so I can finish my point. Geoff, I'll talk to you about this. How is it when he can use all of this? It's like when DVOA doesn't agree with him. DVOA doesn't make any sense, and we shouldn't trust it. But when it does agree with him, it's the only thing you should look at.
If Tim had a young quarterback who had the winning percentage of Tua, there would not be a show where that isn't like dumped on us, like in waves. At any criticism, it would just be the guy is a winner. Think of how Tim has put Mike White on the pedestal, right? Like, so what he would do with that winning percentage that Tua has. He wasn't perfect. He made the plays. He's 4-0 against Bill Belichick. Justin Herbert is 0-2. And considering this is Justin Herbert's third year in the league, to have already played a non-division team twice, it's a lot. Who even knows when they'll play him? Well, play him again in 3 years. It's math. But, yeah, like, full credit. Like, full credit. I will not try to take any credit away from that.
So, Tim, who are you picking in this game?
I am going to take the Patriots. I'm not going to overreact from 1 week. I still think the Patriots are decent. I still don't believe much in Pittsburgh. I think it's one game. I mean, I'm not not nearly as confident as I was a week ago, but I'm not going to give up yet. I'm going to take New England.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this game. I know that losing Watt is not ideal, Geoff, from what I've heard when you lose the defensive player of the year. And the Patriots they gave up the strip sack to the Dolphins, but I thought by and large their offensive line wasn't really the problem. It was just a lack of creativity on offense and like nothing. They had nothing. They were all out of ideas. At least, Trubisky might like run around in circles. Deontay Johnson could do something. They were running reverses with Chase Claypool. And I think that even without Watt, the Pittsburgh defense is still really good. So it's the slightest of slight home dogs, but I'll take the +1 in Pittsburgh. You?
I actually really like the Patriots. I would consider this being my super lock.
Do it.
The Steelers
Dare you.
They fall. Pardon?
Dare you to take the Patriots as your super lock and have Brian
Well,
Hoyer
no,
start
because the
quarterback.
quarterback is dealing with back spasms, and firsthand how horrible that can be, let alone having to be an NFL quarterback. And despite early week encouraging signs, there's still way too long to go in a week, and I'm not ready to put real money on the Steelers. The Steelers are one of, I want to say, 3 teams who won or didn't lose, Indy being one of them, who they were grossly outgained and they won the game. Pittsburgh and Seattle. But also Pittsburgh played full 5 quarters to the fullest. Let's go, Patriots, easy.
Well, I mean, when you say that they played a full 5 quarters, I don't know about that. The offense looks pretty rested to me.
They have a lot of problems. I don't know what.
Well, I mean, they can't be tired. They were barely on the field.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's fair. The defense was on plenty. You guys mentioned the Watt injury. There's certainly no replacement for that on any roster in the league. I'm taking the Patriots, an emotional overtime win versus a division rival as an underdog versus a team that got totally spanked in their division. 1-1, both teams after Sunday.
So Tim and Geoff taking the Patriots -1. Myself and the coin dogpiling on the Pittsburgh Steelers at +1 in this matchup. Washington at Detroit. Detroit, all of a sudden, they make that ferocious comeback and fall short. A lot like week 1 last year against San Francisco. It was almost a mirror game of how Detroit played. They got up a little bit early, got smoked for a while, and then that was it for them. But they're favored by now 2.5 at DraftKings Sportsbook over the Commanders of Washington, coming off a win themselves. 49.5 is the over-under in this spot. Geoff, Carson Wentz, is he better than Matt Ryan?
He certainly was yesterday. or on Sunday.
That wasn't
but
yesterday, pal.
It all feels like blur. There, we did watch football yesterday, but it does feel like, Pat, that Detroit got more respect from the advanced number to where it stands now for their comeback fallen short than Washington has for their great effort in coming back to
Detroit
win.
pulled off the Fienberg. They covered, but Philadelphia won. They pulled off the Fienberg.
Both games that we joked about that, someone played that as a parlay. They played Saints money line with Falcons 5.5, then they played Philly money line with Detroit against the spread and parlayed them together and won money. And credited you, Geoff. You get all the credit.
He does. They're the Geoffs.
Yes, but I wanted none of the credit as we recorded last week for this. I even shunned him for taking what I said and telling people that could be actionable information. It seems like someone did turn that into action. Yeah, I'm seeing the advanced line on this game was like a pick'em, Redskins -1. Now it's Lions, and they might even.
Oh, Geoff.
Yeah, you're making hard work for Paul here.
This is bull crap.
It's the third time you've said it in this show already.
But it's who does that?
You?
I haven't been named that in like 3 years now, Geoff.
Why is this person still using that terminology?
That's you. You're using that. It's just like how Tim can't figure out that the Raiders play in Vegas.
The guy I use to read advanced lines, I guess, is one of. Yes, it's coming out of my mouth, but I'm just so in the moment. Shit.
What 8chan thread do you read for football analysis, Geoff?
That's why he's not on Reddit.
Yeah, he's too busy on 4chan.
Reddit's too fucking woke for me. I need to be on 8chan spread picks.
Truth Social, Fienberg's picks.
You would, I'm not going to lie to you, you would kill on Truth Social.
Oh, shucks. No, I'm really mad. Because I was so proud that I thought I was so good at, I hadn't done any of those mistakes all off season in our season shows and last week. Oh gosh darn it. I'm gonna take Washington Commanders, although I love football team, but I'm gonna take the Commanders. I'm still not in on the Lions. I think it's gonna be a lot like last year. They're still gonna suck.
One thing that I happened to notice when they gave up the 4 rushing touchdowns, and this wasn't, gripping insight, but I think you can run all over them. So expect a lot of Antonio Gibson in this game. Good for your fantasy team, Tim.
Yeah, my 1-0 fantasy team.
Oh my God, you won.
I'll have you know. I did. Well, I have Jamar Chase, and I have Gibson
and Waddle,
and Burrow ended up having a decent day once he got his touchdowns in, and I had somebody else go off too. Dotson.
You played Dotson?
Did I play Dotson? Or did I bench Dotson? I have Dotson in this week. I know that for a fact.
So 0 points coming for Dotson.
I'm good at picking up these super rook receivers. I do it year after year. Who else had a good day for me? Oh no, Drake London did fine for me. So you put that together, and that was my day. So yeah, I won. I'm gonna take Detroit. I think this line tells you that Las Vegas thinks that both teams are about equal. I think Detroit's a touch better. I don't believe in this Commanders team at all. They had to go to the wire against Jacksonville, who I think is a pretty bad football team. So, all in all, indoors, I like the Lions here. I think they nearly pulled it off against a very good roster in Philadelphia. This is a much better team, a much worse team than Philadelphia. I think the Lions win. That's again, I'm not going to overreact from what I saw from Week 1. I like the Lions in the preseason. I still have to stick with Detroit, so that's where I'm going.
Everything kind of leans me towards Washington in the matchup. I mean, I really feel like the name Commandos would have been so much better than Commanders.
I don't know how you shorten Commanders. What do you call them? The Commies? I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I mean they are the Reds, so they could be the Commies.
I just don't know what you shortened it to.
You call them the Maders and be on your way.
Anyway,
I'm gonna take Detroit as well. I don't have a ton of confidence in it, but a lot of that comeback. I mean, Travis Etienne, my guy in fantasy, ended up dropping 2 touchdowns. Like, the Jags had ample opportunity in that game to score. It's just they were relatively incompetent once they got inside of the red zone. And at least Detroit has shown the ability to punch it in once they get in close. So, I mean, like, Wentz still did Wentz things. Like, Wentz is going to throw a 2-yard interception. Just, here's the ball. Why don't you take it? And it just turns out that Jacksonville intercepted it this year, where they did not do that last year until the very final week of the season. So I think Detroit gets right in this one. I'm with Geoff, though. I'm not sold on the Lions whatsoever, but I'll be taking them this week against the spread, -2.5. Miami and Baltimore. What?
I was going to say, it seems like the smart people, way smarter than me, like really do like the Lions, and their loss was way more impressive than Washington's win.
That was worth cutting me off over?
I tried to come in at the same time. I felt there was a pause. I'm sorry. I feel like I've been good this show, so I'm mad that that's where I did it. Like, of all things to say.
You've been really well behaved on this show, definitely.
What did I do? You start with the Charger game, and then you even brought up like Xander Horvath at the top, or people don't even know what you're talking about.
Next game, Tua at Lamar. We got a banger coming on right now, down to -3.5 at DraftKings Sportsbook. It opened at 4.5. Here comes the Dolphins' money. 44.5 is the over/under. We saw this game last year when the Dolphins sucked and they still won. I'm considering this for super lock contention, Mr. Andrew Cust. Dolphins +3.5. Probably money line as well.
Yeah, I mean, what would concern me if I were a Ravens fan was that they had tremendous difficulty moving the football for the vast majority of Sunday. They got a couple of plays where they got behind the Jets secondary and scored, but it was tough slogging. The Jets had to turn the ball over at one point to give Baltimore a chance to score. Like, the Ravens, like, the Jets may have a good D, but not that good. Baltimore looked pretty anemic on offense for most of the game. So that would make me a little anxious. The thing is, though, Tua is terrible. So I think that and look, everything sort of conspired well for Miami. They had a game at home. It was super hot. Mac Jones was hurt. They had whatever fans like to pretend they're Dolphins fans early in the year were there. And things worked out well for them. And now going to Baltimore, a home opener, against a far more dynamic quarterback, against a quarterback who's not 6,000 years old and can push the ball and doesn't, as soon as there's an ounce of pressure, fall on the ground or try to throw it into the crowd. It's a tough spot. I don't think their linebackers are effective enough to make the tackles that you have to make when you play Baltimore's approach to football. And look, the Dolphins have good corners, but the Ravens, for the most part, are not a team that you need to worry about that with. They're not that's not somewhere where Miami's advantage at corner is going to cash out the same way it would against other teams. So, Ravens don't have the great receivers, right? So the Dolphin corners don't really have the great advantage that you would usually have in a game where the teams throw a lot. Anyway, I think everything's just adding up for Baltimore to win the game, but maybe not blow them out.
So you're taking Baltimore against the spread or Miami?
Baltimore.
Okay, so you're taking Baltimore. Geoff, so we have Juwan James is going to be out for the season. Kyle Fuller is now out for the season. They were already missing Jimmy Smith. Like, it's happening all over again with these injuries for the Ravens. Like, they're getting banged up. It doesn't look like J.K. Dobbins is going to be back. And listen, as great as the Jets defense is, the front seven for Miami looked pretty good against the Patriots in attacking and shutting down the run. It's like the Patriots wanted to run the ball. That couldn't happen. I think the speed, especially against some of these backups in the secondary, between Waddle, between Hill, the way that Rob Pizzola and or Garyon Thorne was able to scheme these guys completely open into space. I mean, like you said, Tua didn't even have to hit them all the time. And it was still not a problem. Just what they can do after the catch, and even using Edmonds out of the backfield, it feels like Miami's speed in this particular game, Geoff, is going to be too much. I like Miami.
I will be taking Miami as well to start 2-0. So people be like, bye-bye, or whatever Tim was screaming as he mocked them to 0-7, giggling away as the season started. But you hit it on the nail, Pat. We clearly haven't spoken about this game before right now, certainly not off air. it's happening again with the injuries. And I don't think Marcus Peters is going to even be back. The Ravens have become that team that, I don't know, maybe the Chargers, God willing, used to be, or other teams have been. It's not good. That can't be good. They played an extended preseason game, it seems, getting that game versus the Jets last week. But Miami, who I was fairly critical and honestly still want to remain critical in some ways of the personnel that they do have on defense. I don't think it's a really talented group. But as I mentioned before, McDaniel kept Flores as defensive coordinator. They have this magic of being able to create turnovers that we pretty much, looking at the math, how can it not regress? The first drive of the season, the Patriots are moving. It was the most easiest creative things they were doing in the whole game. Turnover. Miami started with one. So they seem to be getting that. I'm not, I can't predict it happening again week 2, but as much as Baltimore's injuries are continuing, the Miami Dolphins dominating the turnover battle, just doesn't even matter what Tua's going to do if they do that in the turnover battle.
It just seems like the Dolphins are just a really good matchup for the Patriots. And maybe that's just what it is. It is matchup against New England well.
Maybe. I mean, if Lamar can take advantage of that second level, then the Miami could be in trouble. But I don't like this spot here for the Ravens. Miami's going to ride that momentum to 2-0, and they're going to be a team probably after this, when they win, I think, on Sunday, where we're still a long way away, but the conversation's going to change a bit. It's going to change a bit. They might be in a new tier on Sunday night.
The conversation will turn into, is Tua better than Lamar? And everyone will agree. And then Miami will instantly trade Tua for Lamar, and all will be solved for the Dolphins. That's how this plays out. That way
Someone maybe should offer the Ravens a trade.
Well,
I don't know.
Why they really don't want to pay Lamar, so do something else.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they are hoping someone, I don't know that they're hoping, but I don't know that they would instantly slam the phone down either if you came in with what is market competitive. I don't even know what that is.
Tim, how about this? The Jets get on the phone. They say, we'll give you Zach Wilson for Lamar. Would you be okay with that?
Oh, sure. Lamar's, of course. Yes, I would be. For Lamar, absolutely.
They should do that.
I'd pay Lamar whatever he wanted. I'd write him a blank check and say, here you go.
They should try that out. If they really don't want to pay Lamar, here's Zach Wilson. It takes him 38 weeks to recover from a 2-week injury, but we'll be good to go. Miami, Baltimore, Miami. You're the only one on Baltimore in this spot, Tim. So a big swing game for you in the season-long race to the most spread picks correct. Indy and Jacksonville is up next. Jacksonville is a 4-point dog at home. It feels like they should be a bigger dog at home. I can't figure this line. Just absolutely confuses me. Tim, is this an overreaction to the Colts tying the Texans?
It is, and as much as I despised how Indianapolis played on Sunday, I expect Indianapolis to win this by 2 touchdowns or something. Maybe not that much, but I feel like they're going to win it very comfortably. Everybody is very skeptical about how Indianapolis played for good reason. They look terrible against the Texans. Everybody is going to be. I think Jacksonville's going to be a very popular home underdog. They looked good last week against the Commanders. The Colts look bad. Oh my God, you give me 4 points. I think the Jags are going to be a very square side. I think the Colts have to be the right side in this game. I'm going to play Indianapolis.
The coin is going with Jacksonville. The weird thing about Indianapolis, Geoff, was they should have scored 400 points against the Texans. They kept marching the ball down the field, and all of a sudden, nope, got Texans ball.
They had over 500 yards, Pat. They outgained them by, I think, over 220 yards. They commit going for it on 4th down and being dominant is important, and not taking field goals is important. But how do you put this? When you're playing Josh Allen, when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, it's okay to swing and miss for the win early in the game. If you're going to die, just die, right? But when you're playing the Texans, you gotta be able to have a different mindset about it. It's almost like, as we recap Captain Tim Anderson's heroic win in the Ryder Cup this past fall. His opponent should have just kicked the can down the road and made Tim Anderson make the mistake. Make Tim Anderson hit 4 or 5 more golf shots on this hole. He will certainly skull one of them. But no. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Chargers are playing Mahomes Thursday. They got to go for broke from go. But when they play the Texans in 2 weeks, kick me that fucking field goal early. Like, that's it. You got to understand what's going on and who you're against. And to piggyback the loss of the week 18 into week 1, I know it sounds crazy. I'd almost argue it's fireable to lose a week 18 play-in game to the Jags and followed it up with not beating Houston week 1. Yeah.
Indy
But
for you?
the line seems weird because they did get 500 yards and should have won by 4 touchdowns. But Houston's fun. You guys were both mentioning it. Davis Mills is, I don't know, they might not be horrible. They're competitive in some respects. I don't really know what to make of it. It will be big if Shaq Leonard is out, though, I think, for Indy. That will be big. And I don't think he's going to play. The line reeks. I'm still going to take the Colts, but no confidence, no bet. Truly.
Yeah, I should have just continued with the trend. The Colts had lost week 1, 8 straight years. There's no way they're going to lose to the Texans. Nope, they lose. They can't beat Jacksonville for whatever reason. This line is super fishy to begin with. I am blindly playing Jacksonville at +4. Just me and the
I
coin.
like it.
Me and the coin are just going, Jacksonville, I'm maybe Etienne. He drops that French accent and he actually catches the pass and goes to the end zone. That would be very nice for my man, Travis Steven. But, something needs to happen here. And I don't know if the Jags have their number for whatever it's like.
I like anyone with the balls to do it.
Under Frank Reich, the Colts have been, miserable in September. It's really bizarre. I mean, maybe that's because they've had Matt Ryan as their quarterback this year, Carson Wentz the year before, Phillip Rivers the year before, that maybe it just takes some time in order to get these veteran quarterbacks acclimated into the new system. I don't know what it is, but just the amount of turnover causes them to have these really slow starts. So the line is weird enough. And Jacksonville moved the ball. They should have scored more points than they did. So even if it's like a boat race type game, maybe they lose 27-24, that covers the spread. I'm okay with that.
Would Frank Reich be on a hot seat if they got their asses kicked?
No,
but if they were 1-6 or 1-7, yeah, I could see him being out the door.
Like what happened last year, they were easily just blaming Carson Wentz.
I would think that if it's Matt Ryan's fault, he continues to turn the ball over, seemingly doesn't know how to feel the pressure anymore, and however the hell he played in week 1, maybe it's just a bad game, maybe he's fine this week. But eventually you have to start looking at the GM, don't you? So you keep bringing in these dud quarterbacks. Draft
Chris
someone.
Ballard actually has a reputation for being one of the best roster construction GMs in the entire league. And I guess the division is so bad that they're going to be playing meaningful games, even if they're not nearly as good as people thought they'd be, including myself.
And listen, I would agree with you. When you look at both sides, you look at the lines, the offensive line and defensive line, very good. They've really built up at all 3 levels on defense. The receiving core is terrible. Michael Pittman is good. Jonathan Taylor is good. And they just have duds all around. They got Cust boy, Paris Campbell out there. And he'll probably blow out his ankle sometime this week after he makes one cast and Cust is he's on his way to 1,000 yards this year and he'll be out for the year. But this quarterback thing is a real, Rivers was good for them. Wentz was not so far. Ryan hasn't been. How many shots at this do you get?
Yeah, no.
You can not answer. That's okay. You can say, I don't know. We can move on.
Move on.
All right. Jets at Cleveland. Woo! I think it's going to be the big screen game this week.
Yeah.
Cleveland's favored in this game. They are currently 6-point favorites at DraftKings Sportsbook. 40 is the over-under in this game. Jets actually did look pretty good. I don't know if it was, it was raining quite a bit in New York. and it didn't seem like the Ravens were trying all that much. And the Browns looked far more competent on offense than I think that anyone would have believed under Jacoby Brissett. Like, it took them a 58-yard field goal to win that game against the Panthers, but it wasn't due to lack of offense. Like, they were moving the ball okay. They were running the ball very effectively. Like, Kareem Hunt turned out to be a real weapon for them, even more so than Nick Chubb. And just, here's the thing. It's going to be Flacco again, Tim. And the Browns defense is better than the Ravens defense.
It's I don't understand it. You can take all the receipts you want, Robert Saleh, of the people who are doubting the Jets. And look, I have been with the Jets a heck of a lot longer than you have been.
You are a receipt taker. We know that. You try to remember the things and like, I'll get them back
look,
at some point.
I think the attitude, though, look, I've been cheering for and been living and dying with the Jets a heck of a lot before he came on board, and will be a heck of a lot longer after he's gone. So don't talk to me like that. Secondly, you're starting an octogenarian at quarterback who can't play. You gave him week 1. You gave him a chance. Anytime there was an ounce of pressure, he had to throw the ball away. He kept throwing it to places where there were nobody, or throwing it to the other team. He can't play. Whether Mike White is good or not is a separate question. Flacco is a no-shot. We got no chance with him. White, at least, we've seen moments of inspiration and exciting play. Maybe even if he throws 7 interceptions, I would rather sit there on Sunday and watch Mike White throw 6 picks trying to do something, rather than watching Joe Flacco on 3rd and 13 throw the ball to the line of scrimmage when one blitzer makes a partial move through the offensive line. We have to punt again. It's so dispiriting. I don't understand why you're playing Flacco. Like, it's not the safe play. It's a stupid play. And you haven't defended it. You've just said, oh, well, I just want to, take notes as to all these people who think that the Jets are bad. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, go ahead and take names. Like, you may very well have to start burnishing your resume for new defensive coordinator positions next season. If this is the way you're going to act, if you're going to play dust at quarterback when you could play anybody who isn't dust, just take a chance. I would rather see Straveller come in from the practice squad and play, because at least he will try. He might play terribly and throw 9 interceptions. I would rather watch that than whatever the hell Joe Flacco is doing on a down-by-down basis. Like, this is so dispiriting. The Browns are the first end of the tease. You're teasing the Browns down to a pick 'em. The Browns are probably my survivor pick. You cannot pick a Joe Flacco team. You can't pick a Joe Flacco team.
Changes everything.
You can't. You just can't. Oh. You tell me one word I said that's wrong. The Jets D played inspired football. Saleh has got them playing good defense. He had them playing pretty good defense last year. He has no sense of what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball, and it is very disconcerting. And I see absolutely no reason to believe how it's possible a Joe Flacco-led Jets team can win this game on the road. Can't be done. Can't be done. No circumstance under which it can be done.
Well, can you throw up that picture once again, Paul, please? Geoff, I want you to look at this picture, as was pointed out to me by our good friend Ryan Patterson, who's getting into town tonight. Are you coming to dinner tomorrow night?
I think I am, yes.
Excellent news, Geoff, that he pointed out that Robert Saleh not only has a hit list, he actually looks like Tarzan Dan. That'll be there's a 2%er for the audience.
Yeah, he's fed up.
Maybe, yeah.
Saleh is fed up. Fed up with what? People asking, what are you doing? Do you have a clue what you're doing? Are you ready for the job?
I mean, do you think he has more or less of a clue than Nathaniel Hackett does?
Well, we'll come into that. His father used to make questionable decisions too. When he was the Jets offensive, I'll never forget. The Jets were in a 3rd and 8, and he called a run up the middle on a 3rd and 8 when he was the Jets OC. Like, that just was seared into my brain. But look, Saleh's been there for now over a year. And is he fit? Your first coaching job wasn't in Buffalo or Jacksonville or in Arizona. It's in New York City. You can't act like this. You can't challenge the New York media. They will eat you alive. They'll skin you and eat you. That's what they do. The media don't want a coach who challenges them like this when you got nothing to back it up with. What are you going to say to them when you lose 36-0 or something to Cleveland? Are you going to, what kind of receipts are you taking then? Like, how dare he? He's embarrassing himself.
Geoff, I'm picking the Jets. I think they lose by 1 point in a really critically heartbreaking fashion. Jets for me.
So this was tough. I was kind of ready to take the Browns based on I think they're going to win, and in that case maybe they should cover. And to the point you probably made all offseason, Pat, or at least in every piece of lead-up content, that there is probably spread value on them because of a lack of respect with Brissett, but based on the rest of the roster and even with the win last week, you know, if there's a quarterback you trust, this number probably is on a key number of 7 or more, and you could trust Brissett. The Browns do play Thursday, so it would be a short turnaround in division. Sometimes, you know, history says we like to fade those. But yeah, Tim has flipped me. Like Tim's whole rant, I'm going to pick the Jets to win this game. All that being said, I'm happy Tim has caught on that his coach is making fatal errors at the moment.
So you are taking the Jets.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm taking the Jets. Absolutely fatal errors. He has now made fatal errors. This is his second, in my opinion, of the season, because I do believe toying with Jets fans' expectations of Zach Wilson's health and potential availability for week 1. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you for not understanding what you're doing to your fan base leading into week 1. These are grown men that have dealt with heartache their whole life. You just tell them Zach's not going to play. Like, exactly. Don't make it like it's, you know, so I do believe that was a mistake. And then to take on the media now, thinking you're taking receipts, running Joe Flacco out there, I get it. I like the Jets. A lot of the young pieces, they've accumulated draft picks. You see that there is talent there. So I am kind of excited that at one moment it could click, and hopefully that's when Zach Wilson returns. But this coach is digging himself a hole. And I thought he was way smarter than that. Way smarter. And this was a team that, like, people wanted to cheer for. It all flipped. The Giants were the, like, total laughing stock, and the Jets were the underdog in the summer that people wanted to get behind. And
he goes on
like it could be different.
Yeah, he goes on the dice and blames the kicker.
We're 3 hours into the year, and the Jets are just like a clown, like a circus, and the Giants feel like they're on a rocket ship, and things will change quickly, I'm sure.
Blames his kicker after that loss. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going out there and saying negative words about the kicker when that was the offensive performance you put out there? Like, you want to talk about a dark place. Jets Reddit was a dark place on Sunday.
All right, so Jets.
A lot of gallows humor.
Jets for all of us except for you, Tim?
Oh, my God. And as long as Flacco's playing, you cannot pick the Jets to win or cover a game. As long as Flacco's there. Can't do it.
Oh, we're gonna get a Mike White replacement boost here this week, Geoff. You wait.
If the Jets were serious about winning, like if they actually were like, how can we win? What is the best strategy for us to win? I only care about winning. You would literally send Strevler out there and try to play Army football, getting 3.3 yards a carry, and try to win more 3rd and 2s and shorter than you lose. Like, that would be the game plan.
We've decided to call somebody's all in with 10 high and just think that's probably good enough. Like, good luck. Oh, it makes me sick.
Let's move on to the next game. We got Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sans Chris Godwin, it would appear. They are now 2.5-point favorites. Open at 3, now down to 2.5 at DraftKings Sportsbook at the New Orleans Saints. I guess, Tim, let's just say that you're going to tell us that Brady sucks against New Orleans since he's been in Tampa, unless it's the playoffs. And so
but everybody knows this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's public knowledge. And that's why I'm taking Tampa. Because I think New Orleans, like I think Jacksonville, is going to be a popular underdog at home. And I just don't want to be on that side. I want to be on the sharp side, and I want to be on Tampa. I felt like the Buccaneers could have and should have won that game by a lot more. They made a lot of dumb mistakes in the second quarter when they had opportunities in the red zone to put them away. But to Jeff's point, where he talked about coaches just taking the field goals because they aren't too worried, I think Todd Bowles realized very quickly that Dallas was never going to threaten them. and they didn't need to start taking stupid risks to try to get touchdowns on fourth down. That if they accumulated field goals, they were going to win the ball game, and that's precisely what came to pass. So I feel like Tampa could have and should have played better. Julio looked rejuvenated. If he's healthy and ready to roll, like I feel good. I like Tampa here. The world's going to love New Orleans, but I'm going to take Tampa.
I don't know if the world is going to love New Orleans, Geoff, but I'm kind of with Tim here. I think Tampa Bay is just a significantly better team. Listen, I don't know if all of a sudden Atlanta has a good pass rush, but they had the worst pass rush in football last season. Now, there's nowhere to go but up. But they looked like, I don't know, they basically looked like the Bills looked against the Rams on Thursday night against the Saints offensive line. And the whole thing was supposed to be Saints have a great offensive line, Saints have an awesome defense, and none of those things were true.
That was certainly the case. I'm going to buy into the narrative. And as someone with a South future on the Saints, I look at this as a hinge game for the New Orleans Saints. And I look forward to when we talk about the Falcons when we get there, because I actually have a lot more positives than negatives, even though people are quite down on them for everything that did happen in that game. I'm on the Saints. It's a no money play, but I still actually feel like they're not getting proper respect on the line here.
You think who? Tampa or New Orleans?
I think New Orleans.
You think that New Orleans isn't getting, or you think they should be favored in this game?
I would think this game could even be yeah, why not? I don't know. I mean, yeah, sorry. I'm trying to see it here. I don't know why you wouldn't.
You don't know why the Saints aren't favored against the Bucks in this game.
Hold on a second.
That's mind-boggling to you?
Can you put up that graphic again? Because
it's up.
What do you mean favored?
You're seeming like you said like the spread is off. So you think that the Saints should be favored, not underdogs in this game?
No,
from what you said, that's what I
getting the 3 points.
They aren't getting 3 points. They're getting 2.5.
It's gonna be 3 by game time. I gotta pick at 2.5, but I'm thinking long term Sunday when I'm actually.
I also don't think that's true. I think it's going to be like one.
Hold on. Stop. Am I taking crazy pills, Paul? Did I mishear what he said and just created my own narrative in my mind?
I don't know what's going on.
No, but you make it like the game's a pick'em. I thought the game could be a pick'em, but it's Saints 2.5. It's going to be a 3.
It was 3. Now it's 2.5.
It was 3. I switched the boards right before we started recording, so I feel like it just looks like filthy trap, because I look at that line and I go, how could I not bet Brady and the Bucks, who looked amazing in primetime, against the Saints, who had to scrape one out to beat the Falcons?
Everybody is going to be on New Orleans. Everyone's going to be on New Orleans.
Everyone's going to be on Tampa.
I don't think so.
No, they're not.
I mean, we don't know the actual percentages of the money that comes. We like to talk about that because that's a fun content thing, but it's just like, look at one place. Here's the amount of money coming in. What does that tell us? Who knows? But I would wager that, like, the smart money is on New Orleans this week, and more people will just bet New Orleans because of it. Now, it worked last week. I see your hands moving there, Speedy Gonzalez. Just hold on a second. It's like last week. All of the most publicly backed underdogs last week were Houston, the Giants, and Pittsburgh. They all covered, and 2 of them won outright. So I think that the Saints are going to be in that spot this week.
I like the Saints, and I don't think the public cares about Brady's record versus them. I don't think the public cared about the Dolphins' record versus Brady. Like, it doesn't stop them. It won't stop them. I guess some early money has moved it off the 3, but it's going to get right back there. I have no doubts about it. It sucks for me to have to say on the paper, I'm only going to get 2.5, but I'd take the 3 and I would consider the Saints even as close to a pick'em.
The one concern for me here and how New Orleans wins this game is just like, I don't know what to make of the offensive line for the Bucks. Now they've lost another piece of it. if the pass rush is as good historically as it has been in New Orleans, at least the past few years, which did not materialize at all in week 1 against the Falcons, if that shows up, yeah, then Brady's in real, like, it's the formula to beating Brady. They're just going to, like, rush him directly up the middle, blow up the center, and make him get off his spot, and they're going to be absolutely awful, atrocious on offense. I just don't see it happen. I think the Bucs win pretty handily, actually. It's me. Carolina, oh my God, Carolina at the Giants. Carolina is a 2.5-point underdog. The Giants are favored by 2.5 points. I'll make this easy, Tim. I'm going to take Carolina because I think people are way too in love with the Giants, who literally have one play. It's a good play, but they only have one play.
Yeah, the line is off. These are not equal teams. Panthers are a better team between the two. I am not laying points with Daniel Jones. I see no reason to do so. Carolina played Cleveland to a draw, essentially, on Sunday. They played decently. The Giants are just not as talented. I like the Panthers here too.
Geoff, the coin is taking the New York Football Giants, and you might just say, you know what, Matt Rule versus Brian Daboll. Give me Brian Daboll 100% of the time. I would buy that argument.
Maybe in the future, but I'm with the two of you. I'm just taking Carolina blind. It's a game that I haven't really overthought. I don't want to lay points with the Giants. Maybe it's just a part of my interneting experience that is just so overwhelmed with Giants fans, or it's so rare that seen a cluster of Giants fans happy that like it was like the newness of it. So I noticed it overwhelmingly, but I'm going to take Carolina here in a bit of a bounce back. Although Baker was totally embarrassing. Don't really have anything else to say. So I'm just going to use this game to ask Tim a question that I've been asked by multiple people in the last week who don't even know each other, but are fans of this show. Tim, did you beat off to the Queen last week?
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Our friend did. We got one in the chat. Didn't you see that earlier, Tim?
No, I didn't.
He's having Queen beats in honor on Monday.
Oh, Lord, that's terrible.
Well, I know, like you were in, you know, you have your tastes in everything are mature.
Oh, dear. Oh, my goodness.
Well, that does bring us to the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
I would like to know, and maybe you guys don't have this same sentiment because of where you live, but I live
in the same place as you.
No. I'm talking about the structure.
Oh,
I live in a building that has an elevator. Oh. You don't. Jeffrey doesn't. I am now convinced, as someone who uses an elevator all the time, we need to bring back elevator operators. I don't know when they went away, but we need to have them back. It is such an inconvenience when your hands are full of groceries and you get on that elevator and you've got to like lift them up onto your knee and like shimmy your arm around and like push your button. And sometimes you push the wrong button and you got to push a different button and then like rearrange it all and then stand there. Or you're standing next to the elevator button and someone else gets on there and they ask you if they can push the button. And you then like have to do it sort of thing. You have to like push that button rather than it be someone's job to do it. Elevator operators were very reasonable. It was a thing we should have had. It was practical. I'd like to see them return. I would rather have somebody push my elevator buttons for me and that sort of be their job. And you get to know that person. You get to chat with that person every day. Hi, John, how are you? Oh, I'm very good. Where are you off to today? It could be a personable thing. Someone who, again, because you two don't live in elevator places, you maybe not feel as strongly as I do, but I do live in an elevator place and take elevators frequently. And I can tell you that having an elevator operator would be legit, and I wish I had it.
I go to your condo board.
Yeah, go to your condo board right now.
You can all have your condo fees go up monthly because you're all splitting this cost. If that's something you and the people, you could go up at the annual meeting and present your case and be like, I yearn for the time where I could drive home and not have to pump my gas and not have to hit an elevator button. But the world we live in requires it. A lot of newer modern buildings with doorman, doorman actually picks the floor for you.
Yeah, he presses the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he presses
any button.
Yeah, he presses the button at the concierge station. Then it just directs you to the elevator that you're going to. It says the floor that you're going to. You just walk in.
That's legit.
See, that is big savings over paying someone, even if you paid them. Like, okay, so here's the thing: why won't you press the button for someone? Like, hey, can you?
I always do. Oh, I always do.
But you don't see what the fuck is the problem?
Or I hate having to ask people.
What? You know what? They're happy to do it. They see you have your hands full. It's like, could you hit 7 for me?
No, they're not happy to do it. They'll oblige, but they're not happy to do it.
Okay, you know what? Maybe they're not happy, but they're not mad to do it either. It's just something that you do. Again, this goes back. We talked on Sunday night about your lack of participation in proper society. This is just another piece of it.
No, it's not. It seems to me it would be more convenient for all involved if somebody was there to operate the buttons, because I push the wrong button frequently enough.
It's a
what do you mean you press the wrong button?
There's a lot of buttons. Sometimes I mean to push 7 and I push 8, or I mean to push 5 and I push 6.
How fat's your thumb?
No, just I'm not paying attention closely enough. Like, I'm trying to balance all these weights on my legs and my arms because I'm carrying a handful of groceries in. And because they got rid of the plastic grocery bags, I have to use those paper grocery bags now. And they don't have handles onto them. So you got to, like, lift these big old paper grocery bags and, like, try to balance them on your arm or something to get a hand free to push a button and then have to get them rebalanced. And it's like, it's such an inconvenience. I don't want to pump my own gas. I don't want to have to push my own elevator buttons. I don't want to have to rack my own weights at the gym. I don't want to make my reservations at the restaurant. I don't want to do these things.
Okay, so how often would this person have to
This
work?
is what the TaskRabbit is for. I know you're going to tell me. This is
No.
what
Here's the thing. I get that you want to live in 1953. That's okay. I like that you've now lived in an apartment complex for 6 months, where I did it for a decade, yet I don't know anything about elevators, but you do. You're the expert on elevators.
You haven't lived with them in a while. You've forgotten.
I haven't lived with it in a while. I think I lived in a condo building like 2
years ago.
It's not like
you worked...
Yeah, but there's no elevator in that place.
In a building downtown Toronto. Like, what are you talking about, Tim?
Okay, so let's come up with a solution to this then. I think it's pretty easy. So what's the minimum wage here? Is it like $15 an hour or something?
I don't know.
Okay, so
Tim
Too Rich doesn't know what it is. We'll say we'll call it $15.
It's a horrible job.
No, hold on. It's probably a lot better.
Great job.
Is it really? You want to do it?
I would rather do than mow a lawn or like any other type of or flip a hamburger at Burger King or work the front desk at the counter at Walmart. I would rather be paid to get to meet people in a nice air-conditioned elevator and push buttons.
So you would like to get paid to meet people in an elevator, yet when you meet people in an elevator, you're freaked out to talk to them.
Because it's not their job. I'm imposing upon people.
You're not imposing at all.
And they're imposing on me.
Okay.
Well, there's the point of it. So, hold on. I want to figure this out, just cost efficiently here. How many elevators are in your building?
2.
There's 2 elevators. You need 2 operators on at all times. How long would these people work?
I would, in an ideal world, 24/7, 365. But I know that's not practical. I would like, let's say,
well, you could pay them double on Christmas Day. They'd be pumped to do it, according to you.
Double time and a half in this province. Let's say 7 to 7 or 8 to 8 or something like that.
8 to 8? Well, what's that doing for people in the morning?
Okay. Well, it does some stuff for people in the morning, but I don't know. Find a time. Look, what I want is not to have to do the elevator thing. It's really, I almost dropped my bag of groceries the other day. I almost dropped them completely because of this hassle.
Why don't you just put them down and then press the button and pick them back up?
I'm not putting my grocery bags on the dirty ground that people have walked on, that I'm going to then take into my apartment and then put on my counter and have to Lysol to death all that stuff that's touched the dirty ground. No, thank you.
I have so many places that I want to take this. For starters,
well, hold on.
I respect Tim. I've never had to push an elevator button while holding 3 pallets of Diet Coke before.
There you go. Or the jug of water. Here's a perfect example. I have a water cooler, and that water cooler has one of those 18.9 liter jugs that needs to be refilled every couple of weeks. So here I am in the elevator with the 18.9 liter jug, positioned in such a way where I've got like it on my knee or whatever, standing there, and I've got to now figure out a way to put it down, but I can't put it down because I don't want it touching in any way, shape, or form the ground. How am I going to maneuver myself to push a button to then get? It's extraordinarily and I know we're going to get into this, that there's the TaskRabbit app where people will do the tasks for you, but I don't want that. I want there to be people who will like push the button, the elevator operator.
So the way that I've worked,
you want to be.
I've worked this out. So if they go 8 to 8 and you need 2 people 24 hours a day, or not 24 hours a day, for 12 hours a day, both elevators pay them the minimum wage of $15 an hour. That's going to come out to an extra $131,000 and $400. Do you think that would be something that people would want to split as an extra cost onto your rent or your condo fees or whatever it might
Probably
be?
not,
And
but
that's
I
not
would.
that's not including insurance. I mean, you could pay that out of your pocket with all the money you're saving.
Like, I think we could find a way to make this work. It would be nice to not have to push my own elevator buttons. You can understand why it's extremely inconvenient. Now, sometimes you don't care because you get nothing in your hands. You just have you just have a McDonald's bag or something. It's not a problem. But there are some times where I've got like an armful of stuff, and like, what are you going to do? It's
Put it
like
down.
a real tough choice.
You have two
I
options.
You can putting my stuff on the dirty, filthy ground.
Then buy one of those old lady bags, Geoff, that I see people walking around with in Toronto all the time. When people have to go walk to get their groceries, then walk back to their place.
It doesn't fit all my stuff in it.
It's like a little pull cart. You're good to go.
It doesn't fit all your stuff in it.
Also, I agree with you with the paper bags. That's absolute horseshit. However, I mean, the reusable bags, which are super durable, you can put anything in.
I have them, but I always forget to bring them.
You're willing to pay for elevator operators. Pay the fucking 99 cents for a new one when you go.
I own the bags. I just forget. No, I'm not buying new bags every time. I have bags. I'm not buying a bunch.
Well, then why don't you use the fucking bags that you have then?
Because I always.
Well, then buy some fucking new ones and stop crying like a little fucking baby.
Buy extras. Leave them in your car. Stop being a big baby. It's a disgusting job. I actually experienced a guy who looked like he wanted to kill himself. Okay, this happened recently because they still have these guys at the Sky Dome.
It wasn't in the mirror, was it?
The elevator. It's just a guy was a hot mess. Just sitting there on his stool in this. It's just a dark hole that you're in for hours on end. No human should have to be there. If anything, move into a fancier building. Okay, that might even have a system where the front desk can talk to you in the elevator and say, send me to 7, Scotty. Like, I don't know, Tim. You're nuts.
Anyway, this was my little mini. I find this to be a tremendous inconvenience sometimes.
You are... I don't know. I don't know. You call yourself a man of the people. You can't...
I am a man for the people.
He's trying to create jobs. He's trying to stimulate the economy. Let's go to the afternoon set of games before we get too angry about this. Atlanta is at the Rams. The Rams are favored by 10.5 points. 47 is the over-under. I want to take the Falcons. I like the Falcons. Took them last week. They almost covered on the partial sprinkle on the money line. I got the early payout on it. It was great, but they almost covered for everybody, and they nailed the 5.5, my silver tier bet on the Mineral Show with Pizzola and Cam Stewart. We swept gold and swept silver last week. It was great news on the Best Bet Show, but you guys can talk me through this because I feel like the world is now going to be on Atlanta in this spot, and just the Rams bounce back in a big way.
Rams any number.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
I'm not over Tim wanting to be treated like a sultan.
No. Having an elevator operator is not being treated like a sultan.
I mean, you don't want to do anything.
I want the various things which we grew up with having.
Hold on. Where did you grow up that you had elevator operators?
Okay, I'm talking about people in our. I didn't grow up in an elevator area, but I'm thinking about like having gas pumped for me. Various things done for me that aren't done for me anymore. I like cashiers checking out my groceries. I know you don't. I get it. I like people checking out my groceries. I like people pumping my gas.
Do you even walk your groceries back to your car, or do you make like an 18-year-old do it for you?
I miss parcel pickup. I love parcel pickup. That's not a thing anymore, but I would have loved parcel pickup. So they pack your groceries in your car for you. Like there was ever it seems all these conveniences that we had are being taken from us. And I'm here standing saying, look, I miss them. They were convenient. People liked them. I'd like to have them back.
Would you be mad if your building put like a floating robot that like followed you into the elevator and did it for you?
Yes, you know that I would be very upset about that because I don't like robots.
I like
but you would, so you would need it to be a human. Like a robot there wouldn't do it even work for you?
It would make me feel very uncomfortable.
As opposed to you'd be more uncomfortable with the robot than demeaning a human by needing him to press your button?
It's not demeaning, Geoff.
It is.
It's a job that a person who has volunteered to work and is paid.
I'm even uncomfortable. This could sound weird. Like, I've never even played with a caddy because it's like really uncomfortable.
Oh, caddies are great. Or a bathroom attendant.
I'm sure they are.
I wish there were more bathroom attendants.
I should golf. Like, I should do it. But it's just like the concept. Well, no, there's different levels. We've gone too far. But I just mean there's like the lower level caddy that's just there to hold your bag. Like he's not there to read a putt. He's literally there to just, it's like a modern form of like, I don't know, making the guy drag rocks on his back for you.
Well, we had one of the when we went to Cabot, it was Tim, myself, and our two other friends. And one of our friends there's the A level caddy and the B level caddy. He got stuck with the B level caddy. And do you remember Ross's caddy, Tim?
Oh, I remember. Mark hit this shot, and Mark said, well, there's a chance that might be okay. And the young guy said, no, it's dead. You had no chance. He gave no advice. My caddy was the greatest caddy on earth.
Yeah, he was just hyping Tim up. Tim played the best round of his life because his caddy just got him fired up for every shot.
He gave me credit on every shot I hit.
Even when he shanked it, it's like, oh, don't worry, Timmy. That's going to be fine. We're going to find that for you. And he did. Every single time.
Yeah, I hit it off the way. He'd go, don't count that shot out yet, Timmy. Now you got a shot at that the way you play. You can get that up and out of there, no problem. And I was like, it was so good. I was like, this is the way to play. Anyway, having a caddy, better way to play golf.
I know.
Having a bathroom attendant at a restaurant.
I would feel so uncomfortable, like with the elevator operator, but I'd also be uncomfortable walking into a grocery store and being like, "Where's the milk?" as opposed to just walking to the fridge with it.
So. What would make you more uncomfortable? Would it be because I mean, Tim, we know that you're not going to tip the guy. Do you have to tip the guy every time? Because I feel like it's akin to that guy who's in a bathroom at clubs.
I think it's like a post office worker or your postal.
No, it's most
right. It's like
it's like the guy, the strip club guy in the bathroom who's like giving you the shit you don't want. Then you feel obligated to tip him anyway, although you don't want to.
No, because that's the place you only go on the odd occasion.
What? Okay. So are you saying this is going to be a federal job? Like you're going to have a pension and all that shit?
But
then you better fucking tip your elevator operator, pal.
Then I think you tip this person at Christmas, and you give them a very good tip. But I think that's the way this one works.
Paul.
Same with anyway, valet. Same way. I shouldn't have to park my car at restaurants. They should be parked for me.
Well, you should just go to better restaurants.
But there's fewer and fewer places being built that have valet options. I mean, why? Because we live in a world where
we went from in the city that we live in now. We went from 0 restaurants with valet parking to like 10. That's like that is a thing that is happening more now than any time ever.
I don't think that's true in most places. I think that this place is exceptional.
No, it's not. It's just when you go to like really nice places, that's a part of the service.
Yep.
It's just you don't go to nice places.
I go places.
Paul, you had something to say.
How much would Tim be willing to pay for like a butler to follow him around his entire life and do all of these things for him?
No, I don't want it all the time.
Yeah, well, then stop being cheap.
You think you're Jeff Bezos or something?
No, I do not. I'm a man for and of the people.
Can we move on to the next game?
You want someone to wipe your ass too?
No. See, again, you're just being. I don't think I should have to do everything for myself.
Someone to hit their elevator button
because I don't want to put my groceries down on a filthy, disgusting floor.
They're in a bag.
It's hard for me to touch the. It's hard for me to get the button pushed. There's a lot of buttons, and I can make a mistake.
What?
If you really can't
Doesn't
see,
your building have a dolly?
Why don't you just go?
don't know.
Here's the solution to all of this. Just you have to plan ahead and make it easy for yourself. Your hands are going to be full, and you know that while you're walking into the elevator. Before you pick up your groceries, all you need to do is just open up your phone. You go to incognito mode. You load up Pornhub. Get yourself Horde. You get in that elevator. Just drop your pants and blip. You'll be good to go.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm really sorry I extended the segment, but I can't not resist this question, and then we can. Well, Tim, how do you reward yourself after being forced to hit an elevator button? Like, you get home, you're like, you now get a reward because you just hit a button.
I mean, I do reward myself for putting my groceries away. So I guess that's similar. Like, whatever the best thing I bought was, like the thing I'm most excited to try, I have one right away. And that's sort of like a reward to myself for putting the groceries away. So I don't have something for the touching the dirty, filthy button, but I do for the grocery put away. Because that's an arduous task I don't like doing. Wish it were done for me. But I realize I've got to do that one on my own.
Okay. Rams hosting Atlanta. The Rams are 10.5-point favorites in this game. You guys both like the Rams, you said?
As Geoff said, Rams. Jeff said Rams at any number.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. So I'm going to take Atlanta because I really want to take Atlanta. I think Atlanta's live in this game if their pass rush looks half as good as it did last week because the Rams can't block anyone. I just wanted to see if the popular sentiment was the Rams are still amazing. It doesn't matter. I feel like this line should be like 6.5, not 10.5.
I'm not saying they're amazing. I'm just refusing to overreact. Week 2 is not about overreacting for me. So that means sticking with the Rams here.
This was probably 13.5, 14 before last week 1 started. Extra time off. I have to. It's a dome team getting to play road dome game. Tim loves that. I can't believe
Definitely.
I'm mentioning it.
It's a thing.
Tim. You're right, Pat, that there is probably a lot of sentiment that agrees with a couple squares like Tim and I. Rams, any number, bounce back big. Let's go. And I am, square me in for that.
There's 5 afternoon games, and the lowest spread in any of them is 6 points, which is kind of crazy. Niners and Seattle's up next. It's in San Francisco. San Francisco coming off a loss to the Bears, making me look foolish already on my worst team in football bet. Hopefully it's not a monsoon condition this week. But the Niners are favored by 10, short week for the Seahawks, coming off the emotional win against Denver. I'm not going to lie to you. Wasn't too impressed by the Seahawks overall. Like, they were okay, but they really should have lost that game by a lot, it felt like, Geoff.
Yeah, they got dominated in the same way on the stat sheet Pittsburgh got dominated, in the same way that Houston got dominated on the stat sheet, but still didn't lose the football game. They won the game. Watching that game, short week, I'm happy it's not over 10. 10 is probably my max. I'm not looking to bet this game, but San Francisco, their home opener, I'm in. Just sort of, I hate that I'm late. I just laid huge number with the Rams. I'm now going back to huge number with the 49ers. I don't really feel comfortable in doing it, but I'm laying the 10.
I think a lot of this might have to do with whether or not Kittle's back, whether the center's back, because that was a real problem for them. Like, just them missing so many options. Like, Lance, Tim, does Lance get a pass because it was a monsoon?
Yes. Well, at least I will say yes. We'll see this week. As he plays, you call them the Seahawks. I kind of call them Chargers Northwest. They had Nuwasu, they have Geno Smith, and this is just a Chargers team that's playing in Seattle. I joke, although he was a Charger. He was a backup to Phillip Rivers for a bit.
Yeah, he was.
Although I thought Nuwasu actually did play good last night. He was actually quite a force for Seattle. They didn't score a point in the second half. They didn't score a point, and they won the game on ridiculous circumstances. Seattle might win 3 games all year, but that was one of them, and we all sort of were focused on that game. And anywho, I like this the 49ers here, and I'm teasing the Niners down 2-4.
San Fran -4 is a part of your free money teaser?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the Niners here in the home opener.
Coin agrees. The coin is also getting on the 49ers. It's the first round of San Francisco -10. I feel like if you just blindly played all of the double-digit underdogs, that you'd have a winning week here, Geoff. I'm starting to think that, like Falcons, Seahawks, Texans, hell, Cowboys, Cardinals, Bears, Titans. Just run the gamut and just take all these double digits.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a potpourri. I'm sort of playing both sides of a bunch of these games. I'll have some dogs, but I'm nervous with how many favorites I'm actually going to be backing here.
Dallas is hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. They're 6-point underdogs at home. Dak Prescott out probably 8 to 12 weeks, but apparently, according to Jerry Jones, 3 weeks. This is setting up to be the Russell Wilson situation from last year when he comes back 2 months early from his thumb surgery and absolutely fucking sucks the entire time. The Bengals were atrocious and should have won that game until Tim cursed their poor kicker, automatic McPherson, and then all of a sudden, guy can't make a kick anymore. Tim, it's just like the time that you shook Sebastian Janikowski, when it wasn't, what the hell was his name? Steven Gostkowski. Before the Super Bowl. Then he started missing extra points and field goals.
It was a rough scene. I was shocked that McPherson, who had been such nails in the playoffs and all last season, the second kick really wasn't his fault. It was as we discussed Sunday night, it was a terrible snap that left the laces in. But anyway, it was extraordinarily disappointing. But the offense still was clicking. Burrow made some stupid mistakes, but TJ Watt that was destroying that game. Like as good as Micah Parsons is, like he can't wreck a game the way TJ Watt was wrecking that ball game. This is a Fienberg game. I think that you're going to have a Cowboys cover and a Bengals win. And I think you got to play both sides of that. So we are going to tease the Bengals down because of it. Down to 2. I think the Bengals are going to win. I do not think they'll cover the full 8. I think the Cowboys will cover the 8. So give me the Cowboys in our show, but give me the Bengals on the teaser.
I find this really strange, and maybe it's because they had the 5 turnovers. But it's not like the Rams were real hot. I guess they had the extended break coming off. But like, why is Cincinnati? Maybe it's because of the home game. But why is Cincinnati only an 8-point favorite against like a CFL quarterback? But against Mariota, the Rams are double-digit favorites.
Well, Cooper Rush did win a game last year. We saw him against Minnesota in a Sunday night game. And people, A, it's Dallas, so there's always a tax to bet on Dallas, and B, the Bengals looked bad last week. So 8's probably, I think that's actually a very fair number.
The coin is going with Cincinnati. I'm inclined to lean with Tim, Geoff. It just feels like a lot of points, and I didn't love the Bengals coming into the year. We'll see how that ends up turning out. But then I just feel like I got to pick the game here. I'm trying to be like you, or I should just take all of the underdogs at the big numbers that I'm trying to pick and choose which ones I want. I'm hoping I don't get them all wrong and watch like, oh yeah, the Rams, they won by 30. The Bengals, they won by 30. And then I'll hop on someone else like, oh no, like that the underdog outright won that game. It's like, oh great. Like the Seattle beat San Francisco somehow. But I'll take Dallas to cover the points.
So this is a really hard game for me. For starters, the Bengals played in overtime last week. They played full 5 quarters. The stats, the data shows that's just something. There's enough that the sample's almost large enough where that's a real thing. Burrow, 10-2 ATS after a loss. That is the truest elite quarterback stat in the game. Like I remember Brady's heyday never ended, but in that like heyday of Brady and Manning and Rodgers and even Wilson, it was like this dominant number off a loss, dominant ATS. So what a great, not that anyone needs a sign that Joe Burrow is in a different tier of quarterback, but honestly, you take that and as an ultimate sign. Here's my problem, Pat, and you guys who've watched this for a long time or no, this is just one of those betting things that hit me when I started working with Cam and Gabe in 2009, and it's never left me since. Because one guest said it, and it might have won that week, and it's just something I'm obsessed with. But what are the Cowboys? Because I love good teams, first game, backup quarterback. They rise. But bad teams, first game with bad quarterback, backup, they get demolished. So in order to pick this game, I have to make the decision. Is Dallas a good team or a bad team? And I honestly don't know. I don't know. Is Dallas a good team or a bad team? That'll help me make this bet. I'm inclined to think this could be a bad team with a bad quarterback that's going to get its ass kicked.
But you both picked them to win the NFC East.
I did. But I did say, I think when we recorded the AFC show, when Pat asked me almost as a joke, but I couldn't resist, if I flip-flopped on anything, it was that week where Eagles made a trade and the left tackle got hurt, and I flip-flopped.
Yeah, if you look at it, you have Micah Parsons, Tyron Smith, and Dak Prescott as your three best players. Two of them are now out.
Oh, not CeeDee Lamb, the world's God's gift to wide receiver?
I think CeeDee Lamb is amazing, but I mean he's absolutely screwed now.
Yeah, fair enough. Although I don't think Cooper Rush is terrible. I remember enough of that Minnesota game to think he was competent. He's just not good. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't think he's not good. I think it's going to be a close, like 24-21 type of game. Bengals win, but they don't cover.
So, Geoff, who's your pick?
Cincinnati.
Sin.
Yeah, that Burrow 10-2 ATS. Atlanta as the cow. Pardon?
T. Bang.
He's doing a Simpsons thing.
Goals.
Come on, don't you know this is costing me money?
Did my internet go out?
No.
The internet just went over your head, pal. We're going on to the next game. Cardinals.
You're going to clip something, and I'm not even going to get it, even when you clip it, and I'll watch it back.
Cardinals at Vegas. Vegas is a 6-point favorite at home. 51.5 is the over-under. Raiders, like I said, could have beat the Chargers. Like the Chargers were trying to charger late in that game, and it looked like when we were watching it, Tim, that the Raiders were going to do there was going to be, like you said, there was going to be like a blocked punt or something like that, and all of a sudden the Raiders were going to be winning. The Chargers held it together enough. The Cardinals looked awful. But is that because the Chiefs are awesome or they're just really bad? That's the part I can't figure out. Because if not, I feel like smashing the Raiders here.
It's a very desperation game for both teams. Either team getting down 0-2 are going to have a ton of questions starting to float around. It's such a difficult game. This is the game I had the most trouble with capping, and I'm still on the fence. But yeah, I can't lay 6 points right now. I just can't do it. I don't think that Cardinals fans don't really travel, even though it's a close game. But I'm going to presume it's a road dome. It's a very short trip. It's a lot of points. Arizona did manage to score a decent amount of points, even though Kansas City obviously was into the 40s. I don't know. I'm not, as much as I think the Raiders are a good team, I think they're a playoff caliber team. I'm not laying nearly a touchdown with them right now. I just feel like the spread is just a little too rich. If this were 4.5, I might take Oakland, but I can't. I'm going to take Arizona plus the 6. That's the way I'm going with it.
Geoff, what are you doing? Because the coin is going with the Raiders.
Huge amount of points here. I mean, it's the points we were getting last week versus the Chiefs we're getting versus the Raiders. I'm going to pick Arizona. I'm taking these points. And if that injury report gets kind to Arizona, I'm going to feel really, really good about it. And the Chargers, well, it would look like they were going to charge. And there wouldn't have been a cent to my name that I wouldn't have put that the Raiders take that last possession and at least get into the red zone. And it comes into this moment where this thing's close and it's one play. They didn't even cross midfield.
Is this America's game of the week?
I really like this. I would
guess Cincinnati and Dallas is.
Oh, yeah, I guess they would be. They didn't know that they were going to have Cooper Rush.
Yeah, for sure. Burrow, week 2 off his Super Bowl.
Okay, I retract.
Yeah, no, you're not easy to, in your head, think that game's shit now.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I retract that.
It kind of is. I'm going to take Arizona. But if they're, again, Pat asked, like, is Kansas City as good or is Arizona horrible? Arizona could get 3 starters back, and that would completely flip this thing. And I would be laughing with the 6 points. But that injury report could stay ugly. and you'll be big gulping it again like last week.
Yeah, I'm going to take Vegas. I thought Carr played like absolute trash, and they still were competitive in that game when it came down to it. I think he plays better this week. I think it's a much softer matchup for him. He's going to have a lot more time to throw. The secondary isn't as good, and Devontae Adams might have 3,000 yards in this game. So
Adams catch, that touchdown, oh my goodness. There wasn't a nicer catch other than maybe the one last night. There wasn't a nicer catch all week.
Catch.
I mean, it didn't.
Fingertips catch.
Samuel Jr. interception to Devontae Adams.
Okay, Geoff.
Nicer catch.
The catch of the day was the Jamar Chase touchdown that didn't end up counting. That was fucking amazing.
Okay, but that didn't actually. Yeah, okay.
Because they've lost Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt is hurt, Pat. Like, if Arizona doesn't have a pass rush, like the Bosa Mac thing, Oakland's probably going to kick their ass then, right?
Now you think that?
I think that's the thing.
Oakland,
or whatever. Anyway, I think that's right. The pass rush. If Arizona can't get a home on the Raiders, it becomes a challenge. I just think it's too many. It's just a little bit too many. A little bit too many.
I'll eat it. Houston and Denver. Short week for Denver. Coming off a loss, it is going to be -10 at the Broncos' home opener for Russell Wilson against the Texans. The Texans more than covered in their tie, knocking Geoff out of Eliminator last week against the Indianapolis Colts. 46.5 is the over-under. Like, the Texans weren't good in that game by any stretch of the imagination. Like, I really want to take the Broncos to come back and beat the tar out of the Texans here. Can you talk me out of it? Anyone?
I'm taking Denver. Again, it's a not overreaction slate for me. I think Denver's still a pretty good team. I think that they feel humiliated, and they ought to. I mean, they fumbled the ball twice on the goal line. I know it warmed Geoff's heart to watch Melvin Gordon pull his old Charger tricks there in Denver, fumbling it on the goal line. And then they go ahead and they run it on a shotgun to Devontae Williams, who fumbles it on the goal line, all leading to a 64-yard attempted field goal crescendo at sea level. Awful. But look, I think the Texans threw the kitchen sink at last week to get out what they did. Denver's got a lot left. Denver left a lot of meat on the bone last night. I like Denver. I would like them at 14. I certainly like them at 10. I'm teasing them down. Teasing Denver down.
I'm taking Denver -10 as well, Geoff.
I've laid the points on this show with San Francisco. I've laid the points with the Rams. Pat says, like, full slate dog. I'm an idiot. Full slate favorites. Bounce back. Big. Denver home opener. Houston at altitude. Just Denver to lay the wood. Denver wins this thing by 17 to 21 points. There's not a place in the world. There is not a place in the world I could have been last night when Melvin Gordon fumbled that I wouldn't have been in hysterics. I could have been in a screening of Schindler's List, and I'd have hit the floor howling.
Oh my goodness!
I could have been in line, that bloke in line to pay his respects to the Queen, waiting 12 hours in a funeral procession. I'd have hit the deck howling. Like, I was tranced. You would have thought I was hypnotized or something. I was like you would have thought I was Tim and someone just went shiver me timbers or kittle me timbers. Like, I went banana.
Chicago at Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. Reminder before Sunday Night Football starts, PME Live is going down in studio. I'm guessing it's going to be less hectic than last week, that Chris Meany is going to be in studio with Custom.
That's what you think.
Maybe Meany's where he's just going to just get boozed all day long and just really bring the heat. Not normally the Chris Meany, more for the jovial, fun analysis and more talking about football rather than free play blackjack where you push on 22 and drawing on, I think that's right down there, wherever the paper towel is that CDG.
Clark was 100% right about the double down, face down. It's 100% the way you want it.
100%.
I agree. Yeah. I don't think are you having a straw man argument that like anyone disagreed with that?
Well, clearly there must be, because a lot of books or places don't allow it. So there obviously must be a reason
People
why.
People at the table don't like it because they like to see the cards.
Too bad. I've never been at. Too bad. They love to do it themselves.
I'm pro it. I don't give a shit about you like playing professionally at this $25 table. Like,
Well, this
I
is
don't
it, right?
care.
Yeah, this is exactly right.
Like, I'm here. Like, I'm playing by like the rules. Like, I get the like. I'm not like doing crazy things, but I'm also not here to like live up to your professional standards either. When I sit down for some felt, which I don't even like doing.
I gotta say, one of my favorite things in life is someone is pissing me off at a blackjack table, and I just start to play like the wrong way, and just to make them as aggravated. Remember that guy? Were you with me the night that the guy tried to stab me, Tim?
Yeah, because you had a jack and a queen, and you tried to split tens against. You tried to split your face cards against a 6 or a 5. Oh, it was not good. Oh, it was not good.
He was pissing me off. I didn't like the way that he was playing.
I'd like to split, please. What do you mean? I went, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And then
I'm a vindictive.
and then I got the next face card and looked at him and goes, split again, please. Guess who
I'm
won?
a vindictive soul. I'd lose $100.
Oh yeah,
you. Sure.
but guess who won all 3 of their splits, and guess who lost their hand? He was the best. Could not have turned out better. Then he got very angry. He did leave the table though. I think he may have been escorted outside.
That's not the way you're supposed to. That's not the way you're supposed to play. I guess Walter Matthau was at the blackjack table that night.
I also.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying. Well, I'll finish blackjack because I had something to say.
What is it?
I just wanted to say Sunday night was informative. Also, because I'd never heard of the sweat.
Botox?
Being able to like liposuction for sweat or something.
No, it's
armpit Botox injections.
Yeah, it's no different than anything else. Like anywhere else that you would get Botox, like it freezes everything. So if you get Botox injected and you have hyperhidrosis, you're a big sweaty fella, and you just have like bad sweat underneath your armpits. You get some Botox in there. Apparently, it lasts 6 months. You don't sweat. And listen, if you and Tim went to the Botox clinic and they were giving out 2 free samples, he'd take them both.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. So Tim has fought with old men at grocery stores, stolen old lady samples at Costco.
I didn't know she was there, but I bought the product. And that
doesn't make you right. Like,
they were going to make
because
more.
You've done good by the company doesn't make you right in society.
Okay, but like I'm trying to mitigate. Obviously, if I'd seen her there, I wouldn't have taken both. I admit that. But like I needed both, so that's why I took both. But I didn't know she was there. I wouldn't have done that.
Just like you needed to finish the Frosty you hated.
I didn't finish it, and it wasn't that good.
Oh, it wasn't that good? I thought it was bad.
Look, it wasn't that good, but look, you put food in front of me. It's very hard for me to say no.
Just say no, Tim. That's what we were taught growing up. Did you learn nothing? You're a doctor.
I did. When I learned to eat everything on my plate when I was young.
Again,
that habit has stuck with me.
As we've told you, that is like the absolute wrong way to teach children how to eat.
Well, maybe, but once you get to a certain age, it's ingrained in you, and it's very difficult to break that.
It's not very difficult. You just break it. Stop it. It's like we were telling you to write down what you eat. And you said that's because you don't want to be accountable. That's all it is.
That's overwhelming.
It's not overwhelming. You don't want to be accountable. You journal every single fucking night, but you can't journal down what you eat?
It's just overwhelming to remember all of it.
Yeah, sure.
What if the CEO of like Coke came out and said he's taking receipts on people that insult Dream World and Spaceland Cola?
I would then show him all of my various correct predictions about the last 400 flavors they came out with that fizzled within 6 months and say, you want to go again. I was here before you. I will be here after you. My family has been a devoted Coca-Cola family for over a century. Don't you tell me what the right Coca-Cola is.
Did you know that Coke stock, since they started releasing them, is up $6?
Not because of it, probably because the people were so disturbed by those fake flavors that they had to go buy comfort ones.
Yes, that is the only logical solution, Tim. I like that you put those point A to point B. You got there so quickly.
That's the way I look at it. Yes, but again, I come from a Coca-Cola family.
When the Americans are afraid they're going to take away their guns after an incident, like people go hoard to buy more guns. That is your theory on the Coca-Cola.
I see those ridiculously flavored Cokes, and I want to go buy a case of real stuff just right away.
But you were going to buy it anyway.
That is my no, well, maybe not.
All right, we got to cruise through these games because we've now are running long. Chicago, Green Bay, Sunday night. It's 10.
I don't care. Green Bay is never, I mean, outside of that 1 week 17 game where the Packers still won it a couple of years ago to kick Chicago out of the playoffs, these games are never close. And it was like a 7-point game that opener 2 years ago, but like it was 10-3 or something. I don't care. This Bears team's awful. If you think that the Bears are awful, and we did, and you liked the Packers, you got to lay the 10 in Lambeau. Lay the 10. It's a terrible football game. Lay the 10.
All right,
I'll take the Packers down.
I'll take Green Bay too. I'm gonna ride this pick on Chicago one more week, Jeff, before I have no more. They'll have no money left, and then I won't have to bet anymore.
I mean, at this point, I feel like I have put myself in a corner where I'm now pot committed to having to take the Packers because I took the Broncos, I took the Bengals, I took the Rams. I feel like we're forgetting another team that I've taken in this afternoon segment who's a big favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna lay the points. He says he's their daddy. You gotta show it. And the situation the Packers are in off the shutout, as much as yes they're playing to win, I feel like
they did not get shut out.
Sorry, off of what felt like a really bad performance where they have so much growth, it feels like in some ways they need to do. They are going to, like, even if they're comfortably ahead, I still feel like they're going to be playing, it's silly to say meaningful snaps, but they're still going to be like with their foot on the gas because they've got a lot of sort of ground to make up and they can't afford to just even run out of clock if the game isn't close. So I'm not worried about a back door. I think the Packers are going to keep it on them all game because they got work to do.
That's a round of Packers because the coin is agreeing with us. I doubt this game is going to get my money. Chicago's out to get me. I think I pulled a Cust. I cursed them. Now they're coming back for me. It's like that movie Drag Me to Hell. It's not going to be good. So I appreciate the Packers winning like 45-0 or something crazy like that. Tennessee at Buffalo, the first of the Monday night games. The Bills are favored by 10. Jeff, are you going to continue this train of taking the double-digit favorites?
I was invited to this game. And
by Ticketmaster?
No, not by Ticketmaster, Pat, but I'm just too old. I'm too old to do it. I'm too old. I can't make the trip. I love Americana outside of Ralph Wilson Stadium. It is everything. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm an old man. I'm taking the Bills. Extra rest. Home opener. Super Bowl aspirations. Le Titan to drop that game Sunday with the Bills on a Monday in their home opener, a catastrophic loss, and they will not bounce back. The Bills, yeah, they're gonna whoop them.
I'm taking Tennessee, Tim. Tennessee, I don't think is great, although they're your Super Bowl pick. I just feel like they're going to muck it up enough. I feel like we've been in this spot with the Bills against the Titans like each of the past 3 years, and we're like, Bills, 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 and every time, just a weird game, and Derrick Henry runs all over them.
Yeah, overreaction again. Buffalo looks so good on Thursday night, and Tennessee lost to the Giants on a last-second play. Though I think the Titans left a lot of points out there. Overreaction. Too many points. Titans are a tough physical team. I don't think Buffalo's built to play that type of game long term. I think it's going to be a very close game, so I'm going to take the Titans.
All right, so Titans for Tim and I, the Bills for Jeff and the coin. Paul, you must be pretty happy about Tim taking the Titans.
Bills by 1 million.
By 1 million, that's a lot.
It's gonna be an
I won't be taking them next week.
Now.
I'll be taking them next week, Paul.
Convinced him about anything.
I'll be taking them next week, Paul.
We have a pass rush. So we're going to stack the box, and then our front four are going to get after Tannehill. We're going to win by at least 20.
At least 20. So Bills minus 20 is your outline?
I haven't bet it yet, but maybe we'll get there.
Hey, it probably only pays like 2-1 or 2.5-1 or something crazy like that if they're 10-point favorites anyway. The last Monday night game might be the best game of the week outside of the Thursday. This week is bookended by maybe the two best games. Vikings at the Eagles. The Eagles are favored by 2.5. I don't know what to make of the Eagles coming out of week 1 whatsoever. Like, are they really good? And then we're just like, we're up by so much, who cares? Or was like, we actually don't play defense whatsoever. And if the Lions can mount a charge against us, what's going to happen when we try to cover Justin Jefferson? These are like the two sleeper teams, or the two like popular upset go to the NFC Championship game picks in the NFC, Geoff. Like, which team is more favored, do you think? Which team will be more popular? I'll take the other one.
I guess that's a great question. This is just a total fade. I mean, the strategy of fading the public on Monday Night Football is probably a strategy that if you put up all season, you will win money. And you'll already be up a nice little bank after last night, as we had reverse line movement in that football game. It's getting real sunny where I am. I don't know where that's coming from.
The window.
Yes. I'm picking the Vikings almost just for the only reason, Pat, is how you describe this game. It's this de facto sleeper team title game, and I've put my chips on the Vikings in that sort of debate, in that preseason discourse. I'm going to ride them here. Pardon my ignorance. What time is this game, and they're overlapping?
Yeah, one's an ESPN game and one's an ABC game. They couldn't do the doubleheader, I assume, last night, as people speculate, because the Emmys were on.
I could see that. Did ABC have the Emmys?
Yeah, I could too.
ABC had the Emmys, right?
Nope, ABC showed the football game last night.
ABC showed the football
They
game?
just didn't want they simulcasted
ESPN
it.
shows the football
They
game.
as did ABC last night. It was simulcasted.
Oh.
ABC is simulcasting a few. I think they just didn't want to go up against the Emmys with 2 football games.
Was that like a contract they have with the Emmys? Is that why the Super
I
Bowl?
have
Is that
no
why
idea.
the Super Bowl halftime show won an Emmy? It was like because I mean, you put football up against the Emmys, no one's watching the fucking Emmys.
Yeah, well, I don't know if the Emmys might be something that rotates through the networks, and so maybe you don't want to do something to damage. I have no idea. It's the only way that.
When's the season premiere of the crime-fighting cleaning lady?
Oh my God! You know what I did see? Like this is the best time of year for brand new shows that no one ever needs to know existed. You know that show, The Rookie?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the dude from Castle.
Yeah, with John Castle, where I assume he builds castles. But The Rookie, I think there's a Rookie spin-off show now.
No idea.
How hasn't there been a Blue Blood spin-off show? Isn't that like everyone's like grandparents' favorite show?
I like Blue Bloods. It's the only network show that keeps me in. And you gotta know, when the network show you're into is the show that even the network puts on Friday nights, you know you're like, I'm not an old man like Tim who wants to drink his Vernors, but I'm like, Tim makes me feel young, but I do feel like an old man. I like Blue Bloods. I've lost all my grandparents, I guess, during the running of Blue Bloods, and they've all loved it. So I'm the last one standing here, Pat. Okay. As is Tom Selleck and family.
He's still giving out mustache rides, even at his advanced age. So I think Tom Selleck's doing perfectly fine. I'm taking the Eagles. The coin's taking the Eagles. Geoff is taking Minnesota. Where are you coming in on the last game, Tim?
I'm not super confident on this, but it's because I refuse to bet Kirk Cousins or pick Kirk Cousins on Monday night. I will take Philadelphia. I think the line is a tiny bit short. I think it should be 3 or 3.5. So I will take Philadelphia.
All right, let's lock in some picks for the week. Super locks. I am 1-0. Tim, you are 1-0. Jeffrey is 0-1 after the Colts let him down. I kind of spelled it out earlier. I love the Dolphins plus 3.5 against the Ravens. That will be my super lock, Geoff.
Arizona, all those points. Please, God, get me 2 starters back.
Arizona plus 6. Tim.
Cleveland minus 6.
Oh, my God. Look at you. You've resorted to this already this early in the year.
It's week 2, man.
I'm not resorting to anything. They're terrible with Flacco. Terrible.
I am taking receipts about what you're doing, trying to use the curse to your advantage.
I'm not.
All right. Well, we're restarting Survivor. I won the Survivor already this year, so every team is now back in the pool that we can use. Brand new double elimination Survivor for us. I'm going to select the Denver Broncos as my eliminator team. Geoff.
Ask me after Tim.
Tim.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Geoff.
You'd like all the favorites, so it is a tough choice.
Yeah, see, I'm a dud like that. I'm a square.
I'm surprised you don't pick Buffalo, given the way you were talking about the Titans.
No, give me. Oh my God, to ride with Cust. Gross. I'm gonna take Green Bay.
Okay.
Yes, that way if you lose, we'll do a triple eliminator next week.
That protecting myself.
All right, so Denver for me, Green Bay for the Tuiet. Cust, your free money is 0-1 for the year, bringing your lifetime record to 15-104 lifetime. You lost 4 of the 5 legs of the teaser last week. Let's get back on track. Let's get you a winner. What's the tease?
Well, I mean, in one sense, we were perfectly on track last week based on that record. Winning is off track. Anyway, tease the Browns down to pick 'em. Tease Green Bay, San Francisco, and Denver all down to -4. And tease the Bengals down to -2.
So Cleveland, San Fran, Cincinnati, Denver, and Green Bay. Those are your 5?
Yeah.
All right. We have to play the opposite side
Pat,
of that. Yeah.
Put on the cheat sheet. Mike Williams, anytime touchdown. Mike Williams, 100 yards. Crystal Pepsi versus Verner's out of a loafer.
What? Crystal Pepsi versus. How do you spell Verner's? Is it W?
No, honestly don't know.
Is it German? It's probably not German. Is it?
Ver Werner and Nors Vernor's.
I've never heard of this. Oh,
Yes, Verner's. Vern.
It's
O-R-S.
like Jewish deli cat piss ginger ale.
It's actually
and
pretty
it's in my
decent.
dad's
It's like
fridge.
ginger ale that
I could get
burns
some.
you.
Oh,
Burns the back of your throat.
so it's like Canada Dry ginger ale mixed with yellow Listerine.
Yeah, my dad
It
loved
might
it.
have been like the first ever ginger ale ever invented, and they just put it to market, and they didn't improve the flavor at all.
Yeah.
And they kept it the classic recipe of gross.
All right. Well, that will do it. On the Pat Mayo Experience, although you didn't win the draw, don't be afraid if you haven't yet to rate and review the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast, smash the like, and sub to the channel. The newsletter will always have the show in it a day early. If you want the secret link in the PME Listeners League is down in the description right now. You can catch me live 2 p.m. Eastern time on the 4 for 4 YouTube channel, talking with my guy, Ryan Noonan, Connor Allen over there as well, talking about the best props of the week. If you were looking for more content, I highly recommend that you check that out. I want to thank Paul. I want to thank Geoff. And, of course, I want to thank this Fijian coin, which brings Paul nothing but good luck. And Tim Andercust.
Tim Andergust.
Not my name.
Heard it was.
Heard it wasn't.
From who?
Various people.
Really? Name one. Name names.
Absolutely. Will not do that.
You be fucking Ned Isakoff, pal.
Well, Ned Isakoff didn't name names.
Oh,
Elaine named
names.
Ned
I suppose
Isakoff
that's
two hop
true.
sings.
Do you think he's a big fan of the Washington Commies?
He would be. Instead of a program when you go to the stadium, you get the Daily Worker.
You get the Daily Worker. All right, that will do it for me. Thank you all. Share the show around. We'll be back on Thursday, myself, Rob Pizzola, and Cameron Stewart. Friday with Tambo. Then we're off to the weekend. Even more shows up on Mayo Media Network. Highly recommend that you watch them all, okay? Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!